All I can say is wow. She's doing the dang thing. Okay, Pippa is that girl. Humble yourself or someone will humble you. I feel like this is kind of working out successfully.
It's just like you don't want to put it down.
700 pages. Yeah.
Oh. Reader friends and book besties, hello. Welcome to today's video. It's your girl Erica, aka Paperback Girly. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you enjoy this one. It is April 27th right now. We have 3 days left in April. At the end of the month, especially as someone that likes to read books and has a dedicated book channel, I just like to kind of ground myself, wrap up any sort of reads that I may have unfinished or want to finish before the end of the month, and think about what I want to read in May. Basically, I'm going to be attempting to read for 24 hours using the timer method. And this is great because my camera is already dying. I think that using the timer method will just like really allow me to see how much I can genuinely read in the span of 24 hours. It's interesting because the audiobook for one of the books that I have on my 24-hour TBR is literally 24 hours. It's actually 25 hours, so that's crazy. I'll talk about the books that I'm currently in the middle of, and then I'll talk about the books that I want to get to potentially in this video. I'm a few chapters away from finishing Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. This is such a good book. It's giving 5 stars. The next book that I'm in a little bit of is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I just read the prequel, which was Killjoy, and I think that it added a lot of good pretext, I guess. It makes me excited to continue on reading into this one. I was able to get 3 chapters into it so far, and it's been a very fast read. If it's anything like Killjoy, it'll be a very fast read. I'm very excited for this. I have started A Court of Wings and Ruin. Oh my god. I am currently 7 chapters into the book, which is literally not even significant. I mean, it's an hour into the audiobook, and this is the book that has the 25-hour audiobook. So I definitely will not be getting to the end of this, but I would love to, absolutely love to get to these 2 books in today's video.
Hello.
I have some time. I'm going to try and finish Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, and essentially I guess we can start the timer. Should I start the timer? Yes, let's start the timer. So I'm gonna start the timer on my phone, and then I'm gonna read a little bit. Still have the timer. It says 23:48:13. So I'm going to press play on that. And now that is going. Literally almost done with Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. I actually convinced my friend to buy it tonight. That's how much I'm liking it. No way! Shut the front door! Cute! I loved it! I loved it! Y'all, I absolutely loved it. I'm gonna go make a snack and then I'll come back and tell you guys my thoughts. Okay, let's chat. So I just finished Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. I think I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 stars. I loved everything about this book. I love the perspective in which it's told. I love the author's voice. I love that we get a bunch of different perspectives from a bunch of different characters. I do think for a second it was starting to read a little bit flat. Like, it was very fast-paced, fast-paced. At a certain point, it kind of just was a little stagnant. But then some things happened at the end and everybody comes together. I think sometimes at like 3rd act conflicts can just read a little bit slow. But I really, really enjoyed this book. I don't even know how to explain it. It is such a unique and complex book. I think I'm so excited to read more of Jessie Q Sutanto because I know she also wrote Dial A for Aunties, and that's like a whole series. I thought that this book was so cute. I thought that Vera Wong is the most adorable character. She is very headstrong, very in your face with her morals and her values. It is almost like for the better, and I feel like in little ways she betters each and every person that she comes across in this book. And I was not expecting the twist at the end. I was not expecting the person that committed the murder. It was insane. It really had me like, because at first we were just barely getting through the third act conflict, and I completely even forgot that someone had died in the book. Whenever it all came together, I was just like, oh, okay, that's crazy. So I really like this author's writing style, and I'm very excited to get into more of her books. I have also been listening to A Court of Wings and Ruin. I was listening to this while I made my snack. I have made it to chapter 8, and things are already kind of picking up a lot. It's hard to talk about this book in particular because this is the third in the series, and so you definitely need to have read both the first and the second book, obviously, to understand really what's going on in this one. I'm just kind of playing along with it. I'm kind of just playing everything by ear and reading on through. There's a lot of book left, so I don't think I'm ready to have any opinions yet. I kind of just want to see where this book goes, see kind of what happens with what Feyre's doing right now and where she is. But this is kind of like my audiobook focus, and that's gonna be until like my audiobook is due back to my library. I really want to read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This is a big want to finish for me this month, and I really like that there's like a bunch of different types of like mixed media, I guess, or like different writing devices. There's like interview formats, there's her capstone project, little images. So there's a lot of different elements to this book that I think will make it an engaging read. I will say, even though it's pretty early, your girl's tired. I've been going to the gym a lot recently, and so I get really sleepy really early. So I think for the rest of the night, I'm going to try and read a couple chapters of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder because they are shorter chapters. I don't like the Target sticker. Like, why do we need that? We don't need it. Imagine being the person that has to put the sticker on every single one of the books. Like, I would hate that job. Why even make it a job in the first place? Anyways, the timer it's currently at 22 hours, 53 minutes, and 34 seconds. We are already one book down and 4 books to go. Hello reader friends, welcome to a new day. I started off this morning by going to the gym. I had a really good upper body workout. I'm about to get ready to make myself some breakfast, which I'm super hyped for, but I first stopped and grabbed my daily green juice. I've been drinking a green juice every single day for the past like week, and I've been loving it. I mean, I'm not doing it for any particular reason, I'm just doing it. And I found a green juice blend that I really like. I did end off my night reading a bit of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but this morning I made it all the way to part 2, which is the first 100 pages of the book. I'm currently on chapter 15, which is page 137. I was able to read a bit at the gym and a little bit this morning. While I was like on my way to the gym, I was listening to the audiobook for A Court of Wings and Ruin, ACOWAR, and I've actually made it, you know, kind of decently in. I've officially made it 13 chapters into ACOWAR, and things are picking up rather quickly. There's a lot of action that's already been happening, and there's a lot of things that have just kind of been brewing, and so it makes me excited actually to get to this book because it's a big book, and so I was like a little bit worried that it was going to be a little bit slow or take long to kind of, you know, get going, but I would say that it's pretty decent right now. I wouldn't say that it's too slow. So we're officially 4 hours into this 24-hour reading challenge, and I'm feeling good. Okay, we have a whole day ahead of us. I do have some editing that I need to and want to do today, so that will definitely take some time away from my reading, but I'm not too worried about it because I'm gonna need some breaks in between my sprints. I have taken a shower, I've eaten my breakfast, and just gotten ready for the day. Your girl is feeling refreshed. It just feels so good whenever you wake up early and like get your workout done with, and then you have the rest of the day to do whatever you want. Even if you have like work or anything, like it just feels, you feel so accomplished whenever you work out in the beginning of the day. So I had a really productive morning and I'm so very, very happy about that. I have been drinking my daily green juice, as you guys saw earlier. I'm almost done with that, but I read a little bit. I have made it to chapter 20, which is, I would say, pretty significant into the book. Okay, almost 50%. I don't think I'm just there yet, but almost 50%. So thus far in the book, and remember, I have also read Killjoy recently. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder so far has been a very delightful read. It's been very interesting, and it would be actually the third sort of like mystery type suspenseful novel that I would read this month. And so I'm really liking it. I'm really liking it a lot. So far, we kind of jump right in, which I'm very thankful for. And I also am kind of also thankful for the prequel and being able to read Killjoy, because it makes things make a little bit more sense as well. But we jump right in to Pippa, who is a senior at Fairview High School, I think, but she is working on her senior capstone project, and she's decided that her topic of interest is going to be how the media goes about the particular scandal that's happened in their community, which is a young high schooler was convicted of killing his, well, not convicted, alleged to have killed his girlfriend. He unfortunately killed himself before he could be tried for whatever, the murder. And so what I like about Killjoy is that you kind of understand why Pippa has these motives behind her capstone project. Like, maybe I would think, if you just kind of picked up this book, like, why is she so invested in it? And as significant as it is, and as widely talked about as it is in her town, she just has some questions that she's starting to realize that no one really ever decided to ask. And it's also unfortunate because Sal, who is the boy who was alleged to have killed his girlfriend, his family has to deal and has had to deal with the aftermath of that sort of tarnished image that's been left on their family name. And so what I really like about this book is that it's very like light. It's not too heavy. Pippa doesn't take herself too seriously, or she reminds herself not to take herself too seriously. And I like that we get this inner dialogue of everything and everyone. It's also really interesting how we're finding things out along with Pippa. Like, I find myself gasping or being like, oh my goodness, like I can't believe that just happened, or oh, it's all starting to come together. And so I think that I'm really enjoying this read. I again am on chapter 20 and I'm in the middle of part 2. There are 47 chapters and I'm only on chapter 20. So this is categorized as a YA book, but it's a bit more mature maybe, or nuanced than a typical YA book, or how some YA books can be. Let's check the timer, because I have been on top of it. I'm very proud of myself, because sometimes you can just go with the flow and forget what you're doing. So the stopwatch is at 5 hours and 5 minutes, and the timer is at 18 hours and 55 minutes. We are 5 hours into this challenge, and I'm almost 50% through A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I'm gonna go ahead and just take some time to read. I've also again been listening to A Court of Wings and Ruin, ACOWAR. I've made it to about the middle of chapter 14. It's kind of a spicy chapter. I was listening to the audiobook while I was cooking and I was like, wait, I might need to pause this for later because I did not have my headphones. And so I'm gonna save that for later, but for now, I'm gonna read this book and I'm very excited. So let's step down and get into it. Goodness. I forgot to mention the day that the murder happened is my birthday, April 18th. So I just questioned, I think to myself, what was I doing on April 18th, 2019? Oh no, 2014. I can't even remember. I've been reading for I am going to take a break because I'm getting sleepy. Maybe it's because I'm laying down in my bed and I'm comfortable. I think I'm gonna run to my local Starbucks and grab a coffee, and if there's any room in the little seating areas that they have, I may sit and read for a little bit. I just think I need a change of pace. I need to change my space. I think that I'm really liking this book so far. It's just keeping me on my toes, and I cannot ask for a better read. I wasn't sure I was gonna like it. I wasn't sure if this book was going to be for me. I know it's like a YA book, whatever, but I'm really liking it. And every single chapter ends on a bit of a cliffhanger almost. Kind of a compulsively easy read, I'm not gonna lie. I am currently on chapter 24. I'm definitely 50% through. And tomorrow is the first day of the San Diego County book crawl. So I need to figure out what my plan is gonna be in terms of like buying books. What stores I'm gonna go to first. Am I gonna take 3 days to do it? Am I gonna do it in 2 days? Am I gonna do it in 1 day? I gotta work some things out.
Hello, welcome back. I am trying out something new. I'm trying out this little guy right here. It is a beautiful day, and I just got back from Starbucks. I read in Starbucks for I don't even know how long, probably like an hour. Let's see, I ordered my drink at 2:07 and I left at around like 3:15-ish. It is currently 3:30 now, so I got a pretty good amount through A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and it is picking up steam. Okay, we have figured out so much since I last updated you guys. I'm currently on chapter 36, and that is also page 298. Hopefully this microphone is helping with the wind situation, but I thought that I would sit out here and finish reading number 1, this book, and then also talk about everything that's been going on. So this is obviously going to be a spoiler-free reading vlog. I don't like to do spoilers in reading vlogs unless like it's something that I've determined is going to be a spoiler reading vlog. It is such a fast read. Like, I literally was blowing through it in Barnes and Noble, in Starbucks, and I could have honestly sat there and finished all of it, but I did notice myself kind of like fatiguing out a little bit, so I needed to like just refresh my setting again, and so I've come and sat here outside. Pippa has uncovered so much in her capstone project, and it's turned into like a murder mystery, I guess, in a way. And so as she's uncovering all this information and diving deep into this story, she ends up, oh, it's getting really windy, but she ends up getting like these little anonymous notes from we don't know who. And hi, Coda. She's starting to get a little bit scared. Whoever this person is does not want Pippa to continue researching in what's going on or what happened in this particular case. And she keeps telling herself, like, I must be onto something if someone is, you know, worried about what I might find. But she's also like terrified of what it could mean for her own safety. And so something happens, which is so unfortunate, and I hope it's not true. I really hope it's not true. But something happened that's actually super sad that Pippa believes is a result of her involvement with her capstone project. And she, I don't know, I'm just very sad for her, and I'm hoping that number 1, it's not true, and number 2, that like, I don't know, she doesn't give up. Like, I don't want whoever this person is to deter her from what she's onto, because she's doing the dang thing. Okay, Pippa is that girl. But it's just kind of sad to see how things have played out so far and how they've affected her personal life. And so yeah, there's that so far. I am gonna just sit out here and finish the last couple pages. I mean, I don't have that much left. Very small amount left in this book. I'm just gonna sit here and read for as long as I can, finish up the rest of my coffee and my water. I always forget how good Starbucks water is. I don't know why I don't get a water every single time I go. I think it's actually like a proven thing that Starbucks water is like among the best water that you can possibly get. Anyways, so again, I'm gonna go read this, and I will check back in with you guys whenever I'm finally done. Clock is currently at 6 hours and 56 minutes. I was listening to the rest of chapter 14 of ACOWAR, which is a spicy chapter. I know I think I already said that before, but now I see where the fairy smut has come in, okay? I remember mentioning a couple times that I just didn't really see the fairy smut. You know what? People always talk about this being fairy smut, and I'm not getting it. I got it, okay? Sarah J. Maas proved me wrong, okay? She said, just keep reading, honey. You'll see. You'll see. So now I'm currently up to chapter 15, so I'm just slowly getting more into that, and I just listen to it whenever I don't have the opportunity to read a physical book. With that being said, we're going to start the timer, and I'm going to read for the time being. Okay, so all I can say is wow. I was not at all expecting where this book went, and I am so surprised. I'm so surprised. I thought I knew, and I think I did, but then like the last twist that kind of happens and everything all genuinely comes together that I was not anticipating. I have finished, first of all, hello, hi, I'm back. I have finished A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It is true, it is true, it is true. It was just like a very fast, exciting, fun read. And so I feel like it was honestly the perfect book to start off this reading challenge. Not like start off, because I was really just finishing out a book that I was already enjoying. And so this was like the first book that I've started and finished since we've started this challenge. And I really liked it. I'm so excited to talk to my friends about how they thought about this book as well. I'm not sure what I want to rate it though. I kind of am like instantly thinking 5 stars, but I'm also like hesitant. I don't know why I'm hesitant about that. So maybe I'll sit and process my thoughts on this, and then at the end of the video, we'll go through all of the final ratings. But just know that I really liked this book. I can't emphasize it enough. So we are currently at 7 hours, 52 minutes, and 43 seconds, and the stopwatch timer says 16 hours, 8 minutes, and 32 seconds. I do want to spend some time editing today, and I did want to film a couple other videos as well. So I was thinking while I prepared for that, I would continue on listening to ACOWAR and just kind of like listen to it while I'm doing tasks that I don't have to really think about anything. Right now in ACOWAR, again, it's hard to talk about because this is a third in the series, but basically skip this part if you don't want spoilers, okay? We're gonna kind of roundabout talk about things. So at the end of ACOWAR, A Court of Mist and Fury, Feyre is back in the Spring Court. She's back with Tamlin, but under false pretenses, but no one really knows that besides the Night Court and Feyre. So Feyre has these ulterior motives, but she's playing as if she's, you know, normal Feyre. And so in ACOWAR, we're seeing how that kind of has been playing out. Feyre's motives are like changing, not in terms of like in favor of the Spring Court, but more so just how she's going about her secret plan and her secret motives. I honestly like forget why she went back to the Spring Court in the first place or allowed it to happen, but she's slowly but surely deteriorating the Spring Court from the inside out. She's turning people against Tamlin subtly in ways that is honestly his own self-inflicted demise, but it's being facilitated by Feyre. So it's very interesting to see, and sometimes, I don't know, maybe I'm just like taking it too seriously, or I don't know, but it just sometimes it feels as though Feyre's kind of like condescending or pretentious in a way at just how smart she's being and how on top of everything she is, on how well she's fooling everyone, and like her plan is coming to fruition. But sometimes it just comes off a little bit of annoying because it's like, girl, humble yourself or someone will humble you. And she's been humbled. She got into a situation where somewhat of her plan was being revealed, and so now Lucien is in the know of kind of what's going on and what Valeris is and so on and so forth. And so it's just interesting to see how everything is playing out. As I mentioned before, chapter 14 is the chapter that I just ended on, and it was, again, a steamy chapter. But I guess the big thing to take away from it all is that now Feyre is back in the Night Court. She's back in Velaris. She's back with the people that she trusts the most and where her loyalties genuinely lie. I'm intrigued to see where Lucien comes into play with all this, because I've heard Lucien and one of Feyre's sisters get together, or maybe it's Cassian. I don't know. Maybe I'm mixing things up in my head. I think it's Lucien. Anyways, that's the end of this little spoiler section of what's going on in ACOWAR if you have read it or are not caught up. So first of all, this is my first time using this mic, and I noticed in some of the footage that I was like messing around with the mic a bit, and so that feedback went into the mic, and I'm sorry about that. So I'm trying to be better about not fidgeting and whatnot. So it's been it hasn't been a couple hours, it's been about an hour or so, but I did listen to a bit of I keep wanting to call it ACOWAR. I've made it to chapter 17, I believe, and I was flipping through a bit of the next few chapters, and I know things are about to get serious. I can tell that chapter 17 is going to set that up, so I'm very excited to continue on listening to that. But I think it is time for me to choose my next read. At the beginning of this video, I talked about my potential TBR for today's video, and I completely forgot about one book that I'm looking at right now. Let me grab it. I completely forgot about The Simple Wild, which is a book that I promised one of my lovely subscribers that I would read and make a part of a reading blog, and so I really want to pick this up. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't gravitating towards Hothouse Flower right now. Let me be honest, and I think it's just because I have read an Addicted Calloway Sisters series book every month, one book a month since I've started reading the series, and I want to stay true to that. We have 2 days left in the month. I think I want to pick up this bad boy. I think I'll just pick up The Simple Wild next. It's not that I don't want to read that one, it's just I'm heavily gravitating towards this one. This one is about Daisy and Reich, and Daisy is the youngest Calloway sister, and Reich is the second oldest guy, I believe, after Connor. Reich and Daisy is their first book. I'm very excited to read this, especially because the book after this is Connor's book, which is, oh no, it's actually Thrive. I think I'm going to pick up Hothouse Flower, and then after that I will be picking up The Simple Wild, and then after that I really want to read Legends and Lattes. We are almost 9 whole hours into this challenge, so I think we're doing well. We're picking up the pace, and I appreciate having the flexibility of my audiobook. It just genuinely allows me to focus on reading and not feel burnt out from physically reading. I've officially read 4 chapters into Hothouse Flower, and I think I'm gonna love it. I think that all of these books just have a very compelling, compulsive sort of element to them where it's just like you don't want to put it down. You just want to keep reading. I think that the way that Krista and Becca Ritchie write is so good. It is top tier. I don't know what it is about it. It's really just plain writing, but the way in which they allow the characters to think, act, and talk is just so alluring, and it brings you in. I really think I'm gonna like this book, and I'm very excited. Coda Bean. About how much I was going to love the book, I was like, girl, I'm hungry. So I went to the store and got stuff to make burgers. I made myself a yummy burger, but the whole time that I was doing all that, I was listening to ACOWAR. So right now, let's take a peek at the timer. The timer is currently at 11 hours and 41 minutes, which means that we are almost halfway through this challenge. That's so exciting. And then the stopwatch says 13 hours and 18 minutes. I think that I started this 24-hour reading challenge on like the perfect time. I was finishing a book, I was able to start, read, and finish a second book, and now we're on the third and the fourth book. So I feel like this is kind of working out successfully, which, I mean, might be doing these a little bit more often, okay? ACOWAR. Currently on chapter 25. I think the last time that I talked to you, I was chapter 16. I've made it a pretty good amount of the way through. I'm on page 262 out of 700. 700 pages. Yeah. So this is definitely going to be the longest book that I'm to read this year. I don't see myself reading a book longer than this. When I tell you I'm so excited to get to Hothouse Flower, like, girl, oh my goodness. I'm literally only 4 chapters in, and just the dynamic between Reich and Daisy, stop. I'm here for it. Sign me up. I'm here for it. Yeah. That's that on that.
Good morning, reader friends. It is the next day. The timer is currently at 10 hours and 40 minutes. I have been listening to ACOWAR a little bit this morning as I got ready to go out to San Diego for the San Diego County book crawl today. I'm probably just going to be listening to ACOWAR today for the most part, as much as I want to read Hothouse Flower. By the way, I got to chapter 15 last night. I made it to chapter 15, which is page 107. I was able to get 100 pages into the book last night. That was good. I'm gonna bring that book with me, but I'm not going to hold myself if I don't have the opportunity to read it. Today is Independent Bookstore Day, so my city is doing a book crawl, and so I'm going to be going to, or trying to go to, 13 different independent bookstores today. At the end of it, you get like a little prize and everything, so I'm really excited. I'm also going to be doing a separate video for that, so I'm not going to be vlogging much today with this, but the next time I talk with you guys should be with some reading updates. Don't mind the plane flying overhead. I have been so consumed with my San Diego book crawl today, but I did want to mention that I have been making my way through ACOWAR. I'm currently 48% through the audiobook, and the timer is currently at 14 hours and 39 minutes. So we've been reading for a dang long time. We have about 9 hours left. I am about to head to another bookstore right now, but I just wanted to pop in and say that your girl is still reading and that we're still chipping away at this little book challenge. And I'm excited to talk about all the craziness that's been happening in ACOWAR. Okay, hello friends. So I am back home from a very, very long day. I spent the entire day from 9 to 5, almost like a job, doing the San Diego book crawl. I've had an amazingly fun day. I bought so many books, and I have a ton of videos coming out from all of that, so stay tuned for that. But back to the reading challenge. We're still going to be reading for 24 hours. We have about 8 hours left. So the timer is currently at 15 hours and 49 minutes. I have made it to chapter 39, and I'm sad because I just cracked the spine, and I was really trying hard not to, but it happened. I am 54% through ACOWAR right now. ACOWAR is the perfect acronym for this book. There is a lot of war going on, and actually, I don't know if we just got through it, but I think we just got through like the first battle, and so we're kind of just like coming off of that intensity that the battle brought and the things that they all had to do and work through in order to come out of it. And at the end of it, King Highburn, or whatever his name is, he basically says that this is just the beginning, that this was just a taste. I'm very hopeful that things turn out for the better for them, and I'm sure it will. But I am going to, I've been waiting all day for this. I've gotten way further in ACOWAR than I ever thought I would in the time span that we've had with this reading challenge, but I have been thinking about this book all stinking day. I am just going to sit down and just read a big old chunk of this thing. friends, it is May 4th right now, and it was actually a really rainy, gloomy day, but it's actually clearing up outside and turning into a really pretty one. It's been a couple days since I've started this whole 24-hour challenge. The end of the month is always super hectic, especially with like videos and wrap-ups. I recently though have started Heartless, and I also finished Hothouse Flower. I ended up spending a couple days with my boyfriend, and we actually ended up going to this really cool library in Riverside. During that time though, ended up finishing Hothouse Flower, which was a really good read. A really good read. Good morning, reader friends. Also, don't mind the birds. It's a beautiful day and they're loving it outside. I tried to get as far as I could last night into this challenge, and we have about an hour and 10 minutes left. And it's interesting because it says in Heartless, at least on my Kindle, that I have an hour and 3 minutes left in the book. I'm actually just gonna try and finish the end of this challenge. I'm gonna read for the next hour and 10 minutes. So we're gonna start the timer and we're going to start reading. Before I get started though, I haven't really updated you guys at all on this book because I've just been wanting to focus on reading. I've actually made it to chapter 24, which is in my Kindle page 295. I am typically not one for the single parent trope, which is a big trope in this book. So basically, this is the second book in the Chestnut Springs series, Flawless. If you guys have been here since March, you may know that Flawless kind of got me out of a book slump, and it was a really good book. I really enjoyed that read, and this is the second book in that series. So this follows Rhett's brother and Summer's best friend, who were both the couple that we follow in Flawless. Cade is Rhett's brother's name, and Willa is Summer's best friend. Willa ends up coming to Chestnut Springs for the summer to babysit Cade's son so that he can get a lot of work done on the farm, and also ends up kind of like freeing up his time so that he can dabble back in like ranching, or like the rodeo side of ranching. But what I'm liking about this book is that the relationship between Willa and Luke, who is Cade's son, it didn't happen like, I don't know, it just seemed a little bit more organic. There's also a bit of an age gap as well. So Cade is like 36 and Willa is 25. So there's a pretty decent age gap there, but I mean, they're older, so it's I guess not really that big of a deal. I don't know, I'm liking this book. I'm enjoying it. It's not necessarily giving 5 stars. It's not necessarily giving like one of my favorite books ever, but I am indeed enjoying it.
At this point in the video, I think a voiceover would just best convey how I'm feeling and how this video ended. I ended up finishing Heartless, and with 5 minutes left on the clock, I immediately jumped into The Simple Wild, but I ended up not really doing an outro for the video. So here I am doing an outro for the video. Oh, look at this cute little moment between me and Coda. I love that so much. But I really ended up loving The Simple Wild, and I'm very excited to talk about it in my monthly wrap-up. Just know that this book ended up being a very good read. One thing I learned from doing this 24-hour reading challenge is that I gotta come with a little bit better of a plan, but it's all the work in process, so that's all right with me. Next time we'll be a lot more prepared. In today's reading challenge, I genuinely learned how much I could read in the span of 24 hours, and we ended up finishing a total of 4 books. I think that I'm going to be trying to do more of these 24-hour reading challenges, maybe even attempting to read for 24 hours straight if I'm brave enough. I hope to see you there.